Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Protection Updates. There were a couple of interesting news updates that you should have seen this week. The first one was actually an update about complaints. This was the first one I've seen since I've been here, and I think it's quite good that we get to hear about these types of situations and give you the detail, because you can always use that to protect yourselves in the future. The protection complaint that Martin Brown, who is one of our senior complaints handlers, mentioned this week was from a customer who believed his legal and general life and critical illness policy will not pay out due to his pre-existing health conditions. He stated that he suffered epilepsy age 7, had a brain surgery, had a pacemaker fitted prior to the inception of the policy. Now, the customer alleged that the advisor didn't fully disclose his full medical history on his life and critical illness application form. So what was the outcome following the investigation? Well, Martin's update says the advisor completed the application form with only epilepsy being disclosed. Once it was completed, the advisor emailed the customer all of the completed documents and asked them to actually confirm all the documentation had been received. L&G also contacted the customer electronically to request that the customer complete a check of the details to ensure the accuracy of all information supplied by the advisor on the application, and the customer actually confirmed that these details were correct a few days later. So the investigation had confirmed that the advisor had documented all information provided at the time of sale by the customer. It also said that the customer was given several opportunities to rectify any of those inaccuracies within the application, but instead choose to confirm with L&G that the information was correct. So good news, the complaint was not upheld. I think it's good that we hear about things like this because it can help us be more vigilant. Of course, you can't be a mind reader, and it's really important for clients to check their disclosures to make sure that the policy is actually going to pay out should they actually need it in the future. But that made me think of the various providers that do actually offer tele-underwriting services. I know not all of them do, including L&G, as per this case, but quite a few of them do offer different application routes, which mean you don't have to be the one to complete the application form with the client, and that could completely remove this type of complaint being levied against you. For example, if you did use the likes of British Friendly, Cirencester Friendly, Holloway, Royal London, Shepherd's Friendly, Vitality, or AIG with their Instant Life product, you can actually arrange for the client to be contacted at a time of their convenience where they can complete the application with a trained nurse, usually out of hours up to 8 or 9 p.m. in the evenings or even at the weekend. Other providers have delegated underwriting services such as the Exeter, where the client can complete the application themselves via a secured link. I know that Royal London also have a similar send-to-client service. And of course, beyond that, we've got LifeQuote, Manage and Apply service, which you can see whenever you launch into Solution Builder. That's available for everybody within the network, and it means the application journey is exactly the same every time, regardless of the provider that you happen to use. I've actually arranged to record a podcast with LifeQuote in a few weeks' time to get a bit more detail about that service, so watch this space. Now, another protection news item that was floating around this week was from Vitality, and it was about a campaign that they're promoting at the moment called Agents of Change. And it's all about the real value and benefit that clients get by speaking to a proper expert advisor like you. We've talked a lot over the past few years about better client outcomes, and Vitality have just published a short video which has different advisors giving their opinions about how better engagement with clients about the protection needs and recommendations, especially over the last 18 months or so, can really result in benefits that they just wouldn't achieve without expert advice. It's only a short video, so I've put a link to it in this week's protection update, and do take a look out for our very own Roy Alloway from Taking Cover. Roy is a real expert at protection. He's brilliant with his clients, and he really does understand the Vitality proposition, which is why they clearly wanted to hear what he had to say, and he did a pretty good job. Now, talking about Vitality, I did spend a bit of time with Paul Craven, who is a protection specialist over at Vitality, and we went through the process of writing a protection policy into trust. It's the same case study again this time. It's John with a single life policy, and he wants the monies to go to his unmarried partner. What you should and will see by the time we get to the end of this series of Trust podcasts is that each provider's process is a little bit different, and I really do think that these podcasts are going to be a great resource for you to tap into going forward. Vitality do have, and I think you'll see that in the podcast this week, a couple of very quirky little differences from the rest of the market, which I won't spoil, but when you see what they are, it really does make a lot of sense, and it makes the job of writing protection policies into trust, obviously with Vitality, very straightforward. It's a slightly longer podcast than usual, And that's just down to some of the extra content about things to look out for along the way. So once again, I've added a link to the latest Protection Insight podcast with Vitality to this protection update. So that's it from me for another week. Next week I'm going to be on annual leave, but do watch out for my protection update. There still will be one, and in fact there will be 2 Protection Insight podcasts. There'll be another podcast where we look at a different provider's trust process and also a bonus podcast. It's been one that I've wanted to record for a few years now. It's related to trusts and I've already recorded it, so I'll let you have that next Friday. I'm not going to say any more about it, so just watch out for that and obviously let me know what you think. So that is it from me. Have a great weekend and I will speak to you soon.